Rain blanketed the streets of Tokyo in a dull sheen, streaking down neon-lit windows and pooling in the alleyways like spilled mercury. The city buzzed beneath the storm, traffic surging through puddles, umbrellas crowding sidewalks, and the chatter of life echoing under the gray sky. It was an ordinary day, until the sky tore open. It started with a sound, not a boom, but a deep, reverberating hum that set teeth on edge and made buildings tremble. Birds fell silent. The air grew heavy. In the sky above Shibuya, a shimmering rift blinked into existence, stretching like a wound through the clouds. Violet lightning danced around its edges. People pointed up. Phones came out. Some laughed nervously, thinking it a trick of light or a viral ad campaign. Then the first object dropped. It wasn't a ship in the traditional sense. It looked like a shard of obsidian, long and irregular, with veins of glowing green pulsing through it. It hurtled downward, smashing into the Sumida River, sending up a geyser of steam and water. Then another fell, this time in Sapporo. Then Osaka. Then Nagoya. Within minutes, 7 of Japan's major cities had been struck. Alarms blared. The news scrambled. Military bases went on alert. But no one knew what they were facing. In Tokyo, a man named Riku Yamamoto watched the sky from his 22nd floor office. He was a systems analyst, quiet and methodical, a man who kept to himself. His co-workers had already fled down the stairwell, but he was frozen, staring at the swirling rift above the city. It began to expand. Suddenly, the lights in the building flickered. Every screen around him turned black, then glowed green. Symbols, no language known to Earth, scrolled across the monitors. Then the windows shattered inward. A wave of energy rippled through the room, sending Riku flying backward. When he came to, smoke filled the air. Distant screams echoed from the street below. In the Prime Minister's underground command center in Nagatacho, chaos reigned. "Their origin is unknown," said Colonel Hasegawa, voice tight. "But the objects that landed are emitting radiation, not the nuclear kind. Something other." Prime Minister Ien Takamura stood over the table, eyes locked on satellite footage. "Any signs of life?" "No biological signatures yet. But we've lost contact with the units dispatched to all 7 crash sites." "You mean they were attacked?" "We don't know. They stopped responding. No audio. No video. Just, nothing." Ien turned to the defense minister. "Deploy the SDF in full. Seal off all impact zones. Begin evacuation protocols for Tokyo. If this is an invasion, I want every inch of this country defended." That night, the storm grew violent. As civilians attempted to flee, the first entities emerged. They were tall, over 8 feet, humanoid only in the roughest sense. Their skin was obsidian black, like their ships, but slick and organic. Long limbs, 6-fingered claws, eyeless faces. Where their mouths should be, there was only a ring of tiny, writhing tendrils that clicked and whispered. They didn't move like humans. They glided. Or twitched. Or bent in ways the human body could not. And they were fast. In Shinjuku, a police unit opened fire on one of the creatures. Bullets pierced its body, but it didn't bleed. It lunged forward and tore through 3 officers in seconds, leaving only torn armor and blood steaming on the pavement. The rest fled. It did not chase them. Instead, it moved to the nearest building and placed a hand on the wall. The surface blackened and began to warp, like the creature was poisoning the structure itself. Metal corroded. Lights flickered. The building groaned. Then it collapsed. Riku stumbled through the wreckage of his office. The city outside was chaos, fires burned, people ran, and sirens wailed in all directions. His phone buzzed. A message from his sister, "Emmy, are you okay? Call me." He tried, but the signal was dead. He descended the emergency stairwell, stopping only to grab a fallen crowbar for protection. As he stepped into the lobby, he heard a sound, like wet cloth slapping against concrete. Something was moving in the shadows. He turned and saw it. One of the creatures, hunched in the corner of the room, spine heaving with each breath. It turned its head, if it had a head, and clicked. It lunged. Rick dove to the side, rolled, and swung the crowbar wildly. He struck the creature's leg, and to his shock, it recoiled. He didn't wait to see if it recovered, he ran into the street. Tokyo was no longer the Tokyo he knew. Entire blocks were scorched. People lay motionless on sidewalks. Military helicopters circled overhead, occasionally lighting up the ground with tracer fire. But nothing seemed to stop the creatures. Some of them had begun building something. At the crash sites, massive structures were rising, dark towers that twisted toward the sky like thorns. They weren't made of metal or stone. They grew. And they pulsed with the same green light as the rift in the sky. Riku watched one of them twitch and shudder, like it was alive. And in that moment, he realized, this wasn't just an invasion. It was terraforming. In the outskirts of Kyoto, Professor Hana Kobayashi huddled in a bunker with several of her grad students. Her expertise was exobiology, a niche field, until now. She'd been contacted by the government 2 hours earlier and ordered to analyze a sample recovered from a fallen drone. The problem was, it wasn't mechanical. It was biological. It's some kind of adaptive tissue, she whispered, scanning the black mass on the table. It's rewriting itself. Its DNA changes every few seconds. It's like it's trying to find us. Her assistant, Kenji, frowned. What do you mean? I think it's mapping human biology. Learning us. Like a virus. But, conscious. Suddenly, the sample twitched. Kenji jumped back. Hana leaned in closer. They didn't just come to destroy us. They came to become us.